Hola, this is Francisco Rios from Spain, and this is 1, 2, 5.
Something about books makes me feel like a dangerous puppy. Something about books makes him feel like a dangerous puppy. Hey Cracked Lens and Mercedes-Benz. So today's vlog is going to be a little bit different. I'm on my way to go speak in an event put on by a group called Generation Distinct. And the talk they've asked me to give is actually very short, and so I thought I would sort of, instead of music, instead of sort of a diary of my day, I would use the talk as the vlog for today. So here it is, my talk from Generation Distinct Live. Check it out.
I want to read from Ezekiel chapter 37. It says, "The hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. He asked me, 'Son of man, can these bones live?' I said, 'Sovereign Lord, you alone know.' Then he said to me, 'Prophesy to these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the Sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life.'" Who here was or is cool in high school? If you are or if you were, you probably wouldn't raise your hand and admit it anyway, right? But I'm not ashamed. I will raise my hand and I will admit I was very, very cool in high school. You know what else was cool when I was in high school? That Justin Bieber hair that you'd like flip like that. That was super cool. The Twilight books, really, really cool. Guys, you might remember this one. Polo shirts where you pop the collar. Now, you know what was even cooler than that? A double popped collar. Oh yeah. Girls, this one might just be for you. You know what was really cool? Jeans with no back pockets. Some girls in here that are young are like, what? That was a thing. I promise you. And you know who was like really cool in pop culture when I was in high school? Lindsay Lohan, Shia LaBeouf, and Tiger Woods were really cool. Great role models. Not so much anymore. If you couldn't tell, all of those things, none of them are cool anymore. And so admitting that you were cool in high school, it's almost like this shameful thing. And I guess I'm just humble enough to admit that I was. I am a recovering cool kid. But you know what was the coolest thing in high school? "Hey John, what are you doing tonight?" "Whatever." "Hey John, I'm sorry I heard your girlfriend broke up with you." "Whatever." John, can I talk to you for a second?" "Yeah, you're failing all your classes." "Whatever." You see, the coolest thing in high school was not caring about anything. The kids who were the coolest were the ones who cared the least. And I don't think this is because we're a generation full of apathetic people. I don't think this is because we actually didn't care about anything. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that everyone in this room has or has had something that at one point in their life they cared very much about. Whether it was sports, or poetry, or social justice. But you see, we would never let anyone know that in high school. Because the minute someone found out you cared about something, that was the same minute it became bait that they would use to make fun of you. And so if we could convince people that we didn't actually care about anything, if we could put on this attitude of whatever, then no one could hurt us. And so for years, a generation has walked around with all of these passions, and all of these desires, and all these callings buried deep and down within us. And we've never let them see the light of day. We've never let them receive the oxygen that they need, because we have believed this lie of whatever. Some of us maybe are walking around, some of us maybe walked in this room tonight, driving around in our cars, sitting at our dinner tables, and we just feel like a pile of dry bones. And maybe everything looks okay on the outside, because the skeleton can look pretty good. All the bones are connected together, and maybe even the ligaments are intact. And from the outside, our life looks really good too. We have a good school, we have a good major, we have a good family, we have a good church. But on the inside, there is no breath of passion filling up our lungs because we have believed the lie of whatever, and we have allowed it to keep us from caring about anything. We have believed the lie of whatever, and we have allowed it to keep us from pursuing the calling that God has placed on this generation. And so tonight, we are confronted with this question. It's a question that the generations who came before us are asking of our generation. It's a question that we are asking each other. And it's a question that we look in the mirror every morning and we look at our broken, passionless lives and we ask the same question that God asked Ezekiel: can these bones live? Can I make a difference? Can we change the world? Can a generation that has wallowed in the waters of whatever for so long finally wake up and claim the destiny that God has for them? And friends, I'm here to tell you right now, I came here, I walked through these doors to let you know that I believe the answer to that question is yes. I believe that God can and will do amazing things through each and every person in this room and our generation at large. But I have to warn you that that's never going to happen unless we make a choice. Unless we choose to reject this whatever epidemic and start to do something very, very scary. Care about something. When I was asked to talk tonight, I was asked to focus on three things. The first thing I was asked to focus on is why I believe in the vision of Generation Distinct. And that was pretty easy for me. Because even though they might not use the same terminology, I believe that Generation Distinct exists to inspire and motivate and move people to care about something. Whatever it is, music, art, sex trafficking, doesn't matter. I believe that Generation exists to call people to reject the whatever lifestyle and to begin to care about something. Number two, I was asked to talk about what I believe God's will is for this generation. And let's be honest with each other, we live in this reality. We live in a valley of dry bones. We live in a world of people just living for themselves, or living for how much money they can make, or living for how many followers they can get. We live in a world where passion is either absent or severely misplaced. And you see, a lot of people like to blame our generation for all the problems in the world. They think we're the cause of it. They like to use words like lazy, entitled, self-obsessed. But you see, I don't believe that God's will for our generation is to be the cause of the problems in the world. Actually, I believe it's quite contrary. I believe that God's will for this generation is to begin to use us as His solutions to the problem. God doesn't want us to be the dry bones. God wants us to be the prophets who are going out and speaking life and breath into the dry bones. And number three, I was asked to focus and answer the question of why I believe God can use this generation, the people in this room. Why can God use this generation to change the world? And that was the easiest one for me to answer. And I could talk about how, we are the generation of the internet, right? And the internet is this amazing tool that gives us reach far beyond this building, far beyond our schools, into other countries and all over the world. I could talk about how we're a generation that generally cares more about why we do something rather than what we're doing or how much money we can make at doing it. I could even say it's just because we're freaking awesome, right? But you see, I don't believe that God can use this generation to change the world because we're such a special generation. I believe that God can use this generation to change the world because He is a special God. I believe that God can use this generation to change the world because He is the God who is able to do immeasurably more than we could ever ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. I believe that God can use this generation to change the world because He's the God who breathes life into the dry bones. I believe it because He is the God who brings joy out of weeping. He's the God who brings love out of hate. He's the God who brings found people out of lost people. You know why I believe that God can use this generation to change the world? It is because we are partnering and working with a resurrected King who was shut up in a tomb, if you remember, for 3 long, hard days, and whose bones were supposed to be drying up. But on the 3rd day, the question was asked of Jesus, can these bones live? And Jesus said, you betcha. And he hopped up out of that tomb and he took his place, seated at the right hand of the Father, and he said, now you, this generation, go out and do what I have done. Go and breathe life into the dry, dead, broken, hurting, messy places of this world, and let my light shine in them. Let my love burst through them, and let a generation that has wallowed in these waters of whatever for so long finally care about something and bring this world to life. I'm wondering if there's anyone in this room who is maybe willing to clap their hands and believe that God